What's up, martial art friends? It's Jay here, and today I'm gonna answer the hardest questions of all time: boxing versus Wing Chun. I'm gonna go over some pros and cons and comparison in some street-specific scenarios. If you're interested in those two martial arts, this video is exactly designed for you. So I won't keep you any longer. Let's keep it fire. Firstly, I want to say that there's no such thing as the perfect comparison, and I'm not here to put down any art or any individuals. Rather than that, I provide evidence and values for you guys to decide which one is perfectly designed for you to help you keep you safe in the street. Firstly, we have to talk about powers. Boxing got an advantage because the punch comes from the rotations, which is the prime explosive mechanic of human being. Wing Chun, on the other hand, the punch comes from the center line, straight from the center, with the elbow extensions and minimal rotations. So in the power category, boxing won. Now let's talk about speed. If you compare boxing jab with a Wing Chun punch, they relatively the same, they kind of same motions. But the difference start to happen when you punch more than 2 or 3 times, because with the famous Wing Chun straight plus, there's no gap in between the two attacks, which maximize the speed. Compared to boxing, to achieve that kind of huge powers, they have to sacrifice speed a little bit, because when you punch and then your rotations, so there's gap in between, so you don't actually attack the guy like all the time. There's a actual gap that's gonna slow boxer down. So in the speed categories, Wing Chun won. Yes. Third thing, one of the most important thing is how simple to learn it, because not everyone is an athlete, not everyone willing to dedicate the whole life for martial art career, and I understand that. In fact, only 40 to 60% of Canadians actually have adequate physical activity time. And how many in those guys do you think that gonna actually train martial art? So not many people do martial art, right? Which means simplicity is one of the key factors. Is it easy to learn? So for boxing, you only have 4 punches, you very simple footwork, and you're good to go. You only have to coordinate those combos. Wing Chun, on the other hand, you have triangle theory, ground force, 3 gaze, and then basic technique. You got back sổ, thanh sổ, left sổ, bong sổ, so many sổ. So in this case, obviously, boxing 2. I have to give this one to boxing, even though I teach Wing Chun. That's such a bad marketing strategies. Why I'm even doing this to myself. That basically the most compact overview ever. But you know, the theory and the practical is super far. Let's dive in some street scenario to see how these martial arts perform. First situations, the most common one, and I hate it, weapon based. Which means there's knife involved, there's screwdriver involved, any kind of weapons. Obviously, boxing had no advantage because due to the regulation, due to the rules, now you got the habit of always keep your hand up to protect your face. Also, you always want to bounce around and then keep the distance with the guy. That's super dangerous. And I'm gonna go over the example here where my student is allowed to stop me anytime he wants. You can see that as long as I bounce around, there's no way I can close that distance and stop the knife in time. Wing Chun, on the other hand, the effective range is much closer, which means you give the guy less time to actually touch to his weapons. And if the weapon cannot be drawn out, then the guy cannot actually use it to attack you, right? So by this common sense, I have to give Wing Chun 2. So now we even now. Lastly, multiple opponents. When there are 2 or 3 guys involved, and you will see it quite happen a lot because people always hang out with their friends, right? And then if, let's say you, for example, if your friend in danger, would you save him? I would. I don't know. But in that case, then boxing have a little bit of advantage because a boxing punch is very, very powerful. It's enough to knock the guy out. I think it can even knock the bear out if that Mike Tyson. So if you take just one punch for this guy, one punch for the other guy, fight's over, right? Very simple and straightforward. Wing Chun, on the other hand, the straight blast is not that powerful. You need around 3 to 5 punch to actually knock somebody out. In the meantime, his friend can sneak out behind you and grab a beer bottle and snap you in the head, which you don't want to, right? Unless there's still exceptions. Let's say you like Yip Man in the movie where you fight like 10 people. Yip Man. Giết cò, tả sập cò. It means like one guy fight 10 guys, which never happens in real life. Unless you got that kind of skill, then okay, then yeah. But I cannot let boxing win because I'm a Wing Chun teacher. So what else can Wing Chun do? Let's say if you fight in a tight space where there's many surrounding objects. Now Wing Chun got a better control because you're actually close to the guy, you're sticking to the guy. All of the years that we trained the Jisou, which everyone call it useless, now you can use it to like actually throw the guy to any direction that you want. You can also control the guy, right? Also, you can use him as a human shield against his friends. So now if his hand come, then you just lock him and throw him at his friends. And then now you have time to run away. You see? This is my attempt to save Wing Chun face. So now, I must say it's the type though. I hate to say that, but my goal is not to determine which one is more superior and which one is useless. My goal is I try to provide some pros and cons for you guys to decide which one fit your personality more, which one fit your background more. So what do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comment sections. And the best thing is you can always mix those two together. That's just the beauty of it, right? So now, and if you already follow my channel, you see that I talk about this a lot. And also when you see how I move, how I attack, I usually don't look like a typical Wing Chun guy because I mix in not just boxing but a various of other martial arts. Things that I feel like is gonna be a cons for me, then I delete it and I add more stuff in. Many people will disagree with me, of course. That's just how it is. If you think Wing Chun is very good for you, I'm good with that too. It just, in my opinion, there's no such thing as the perfect style. You always have to mix and match to fit your need, right? If you like the content, please subscribe and follow our channel for more tips and instruction about martial art and Wing Chun in specific. If you don't, please also let me know what you don't like about my martial art. Rather than that, enjoy your week and make sure you train hard. I get back to my training too. See ya!